Hey guys, it's Dr. Kelsey and this is Lucy, and we're talking about a subject that can be difficult to discuss, and that is when to consider to put your pet to sleep. And I really want to hone in on this segment really about mobility, the ability of your dog to get around. Can your dog get up on its own, mosey on outside, trot outside, and do its business, and then come back into the house? Mobility is definitely a critical issue. Lucy's about 18 pounds. Not a real big deal for me to have to pick her up, maybe take her outside and help her go to the bathroom. But when you've got a 70-pound, 80-pound dog, it can really be an issue and a struggling point for a lot of owners. So, the things to be watchful for, if you have to help them get up, I don't think that's really a big issue. If it's just a little effort to prop them up and get them going, and once you get going, that's pretty good. But if they're unable to get up at all, and then even once you get them up, if they're having a really hard time, standing, if you take them outside, they're having a hard time standing, they're falling over. Again, these are issues you definitely want to discuss with your veterinarian. But I do want to say that's a quality of life issue that I do think is a time to have a discussion with your veterinarian and your family about end of life issues with your dog. So I think I'll give you a few suggestions sometimes I've given to my owners or my clients, and that is, you can put little runners, little mats out in front of their bedding. That really helps their traction as they get up out of bed. Instead of getting onto the hardwood floor or ceramic floor or tile or something like that where they can slide around, if you'll just put some yoga mats, even things like that, or little rubber mats in front of their bedding to get them going, because usually a lot of times once they're going, they can kind of get up and get and mosey on outside. It might be slow, and that's okay. One other thing too, if they're laying down in their bed and they actually are, it's sad when they actually start pooping and peeing on themselves, and that can definitely happen. So I do want you to be aware of that. Dogs can get urine scalding, which can happen down here, of course, on their belly and their inner thighs. And that's where the skin can get really irritated because urine has gotten down there and just soaked that area. Or poop as well. We'll have clients that have to wash their dogs up. And I know that's not a big deal for most people, but just be real cognizant of that and the quality of life issues as again, your pet gets older and has trouble getting around. So that's an issue I want you all to think about, is the mobility and the ability to get around, and let that be a quality of life issue that you consider.